What in the world is a whiskey channel doing talking about Sotol? I don't know, but stick around and find out. All right, whiskey fam, I know what you're thinking. Why in the world are we talking about Sotol? Well, I like peculiar things, unique and different things. I believe in trying weird things and really just get into different stuff at least once or twice in your lifetime. I'm one of those people that if you're like, hey, you got to try this, I probably will. Just kind of depending on what it is, of course. Let's not get crazy. But in all honesty, I was really looking forward to getting into Sotol again. It's been a few years that we've reviewed one, and I think now that it's warming up, it's about time to do the darn thing. Now this is the Cascabel by Flor del Desierto. I'm probably not saying that quite correctly, and I should because I am a Spaniard. But this is a Sotol that's Pachuca style and made with snake. Now for you guys that would like to know a little bit more information about that, essentially what they do is they take the Sotol, and during the fermentation process and the distillation, they will use different varieties of protein, whether that be deer, snake, turkey, rabbit, coyote. It kind of depends on what your mood is, right? Or what the Sotolero wants to do. Now, in this case, this is made with snake. And I'm kind of interested to share this experience with you guys because I've already opened the bottle. I shared it with friends. And most of us were pretty much amazed by it. We really enjoyed it. And I thought, okay, well, I don't want to keep this all to myself. I got to share it with you guys. So let's get pouring on this and talk a little bit about what the experience is like. Okay, not quite the, dramatic cork pop. And yes, I am drinking out of a copita. I will say this. I prefer to drink from copita when I do these reviews, whether it's a tequila or a mezcal or a Sotol. I don't know why. Don't ask me other than the aesthetics of it, the look and feel of the copita. I don't know. I just really enjoy the copita. I like how it makes me feel. I feel fancy and I feel a little extra. Now this in particular is made from a Sotol plant that was aged 18 to 22 years. And if you think about that, even though it's not aged for 22 years in an oak barrel, it took a long time just to be able to harvest, the plant that was used to make this delicious spirit. Now, if you don't know much about Sotol, it can be confused for a cactus or an agave spirit. It is neither one. It's an evergreen plant. Agave, is usually farmed, while this is usually harvested on a mountainside or rough terrain. And you can find Sotol plants in northern Mexico, Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. It's got to bring a little something special to me because I love the Southwest. I love everything about the Southwest. And so for me to get into something that's truly Southwestern is really something special. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this and see what's on the nose. Wildly different from whiskey. This is not whiskey, but man. When people ask me what to expect from Sotol, I usually tell them it's a cross between drinking a bourbon and a tequila. It's neither, but I'm telling you, like flavor-wise, characteristic-wise, it has the sweetness of a bourbon, the honey sweetness, the caramel, richness, but also, the feel of a tequila, which is kind of unique that Sotol is neither an agave, right? Or it's neither an agave. It's neither an agave spirit and it's not a whiskey. So, all right. Now, this was triple distilled and they made it with open fermentation, which if you're a whiskey nerd like me, that counts, right? That means something. So I prefer open fermentation. It brings a little bit of uniqueness from bottle to bottle, even if it's the same style of, bottling, same product. Okay, so what I get is dry papaya, I get guava, and I get dried mango. I love dried mango, especially now that it's warm and it's summertime. I like chewing on dried mango. It's got a little bit of brine and minerality to it, something that is also similar to a tequila, but you get not as vibrant or like citrus forward notes from this. It feels a little bit more tropical. It's not lime forward, loads of like lemons, nothing like that. But it is fruity. And you also get a little bit of that leathery, smoky quality. It's not mezcal, but because this was cooked 3 to 4 days underground, you do get that earthy, smoky taste to it. Now, for you guys that don't really like, spirits or sipping on stuff that's smoky, don't be turned off. I wouldn't be alarmed. This is very subtle. It's there and it's nuanced, but it's not really aggressive in any way. If anything, it's pretty inviting, like kind of walking towards a campfire. Man, I really like the nose, but like I said, it's tropical, it's sweet, a lot of brown sugar and caramel. You do get vanilla, you get like this earthy tone that's there. You get umami on the nose, and you also get like vanilla. All right, so let's have ourselves a taste. Cheers. Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Very different, guys. Again, this is a channel for the whiskey sipper, but you gotta like expand your horizons a little bit. Try stuff a little bit outside of your wheelhouse. Um, I won't pretend to be like a Sotol spirit expert by any stretch, but I do know my flavors, and I certainly like enjoying and sharing that type of information with you guys. But man, that first sip, it just coats the mouth. It's warming at 48% alcohol. It's not hot. It's just warm enough to dance on the tongue. And the tropical flavors are, of course, the first thing notice from the onset. So I'm going to go right back into this and see just how wildly it opened up. So cheers again. Okay, it did open up. It transitions from those tropical notes on the nose to green pepper. There's like a dried jalapeno note in there, more minerality. I think the taste is really where you pick up that brine, minerality. The papaya really comes back, and it really is dry. It's not very sweet on the taste as I thought it would be on the nose. Man, more leather, earthy, less smoke. It's just enough to notice, right? It's not, again, like I said, it's not aggressive. It's just enough to pick it out and say, there's a little bit of smokiness going on there. And it's earthy. That umami that I got from the nose starts to come back more on the finish, so it hangs out for a little bit and it shows itself more on the tail end side of things. So I'm gonna take one more sip and then give you my final thoughts. So cheers again. Very vegetal, very herbal. You almost get you get these herbal spices like thyme, some basil. Yeah, but a lot of green peppers, not the spicy kind, but your green peppers. More jalapeno. It's not spicy in that regards. It's not hot. And then you just barely get some guava, honey, and just a slight bit of vanilla. And that's where I feel like, okay, the bourbon drinker might actually enjoy sipping on some Sotol, right? But yeah, I feel like this is going to be an ideal sipper. You know, most folks probably take something like this and make a cocktail. I'm not big into cocktails. I will enjoy a cocktail from time to time, but I just don't know a bunch of recipes and I don't typically make cocktails. So if you guys have a cocktail that you would like to recommend to me, that would be great. Like drop a comment, let me know what's up. I would like to hear what cocktails you have in mind for this type of a Sotol. Or if you have a Sotol that you readily make, cocktails with, that'd be great to know too. But I personally think that if you are the whiskey drinker, this is going to be ideal for the whiskey curious.
100%.
Certainly somebody who definitely likes to venture out of their comfort zone, get out of their wheelhouse, and try something a bit different and something that kind of challenges them, and especially their palate. Because that's really what this is all about. This is about gaining that experience, acclimating your palate to different things, and going on different adventures. I'm an adventurous kind of guy. What can I say? I do like this. Certainly, I would recommend it for all you guys watching. And you probably figured that out early on in the video. Now, the whole thing with snake, right? Now, I've never personally had snake to eat. Okay, just know that. Maybe I have and I forgot about it with all the different stuff that I've tried. But this doesn't come off wildly different. You're not going to get some off-putting protein notes or any meaty notes. Every now and then you do find a sipper that has a bit of a savory note. I'll just say that it's so subtle that it's going to get missed. It's more tropical, it's more herbal. It's got a lot of herbaceousness and it's got a heavy vegetal feel to it. But I wouldn't say that, oh yeah, this has got some snake in it or something like that. It's nothing you're going to really notice. So who knows? They probably added it there to give it a little bit more earthy tone, get a little bit more bite and complexity. But I'm not really picking it up. I'll just say that. And I don't think you will either. It'll be so nuanced you won't know it's there. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, I appreciate you coming over and stopping by and checking us out. Hopefully you return to us as a subscriber. I would love to get you guys to subscribe. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. And of course, again, leave a comment if you have something that you would like me to try and do a review on. I would appreciate that. And if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon. I would love to have new Patreons added to the channel, building up that Whiskey One community. Also, we will be doing different tastings this year, so that will be an added benefit of becoming a Patreon is getting first access to it or discounts to my tastings. I would love to sit down and talk a little whiskey or even Sotol with you. Now remember, here at Whiskey One, it's about the one you enjoy. Cheers.